Hey, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon for some of you. How you guys doing? Good afternoon, bro. Beck, what's up, man? Uh, so many people doubting trading isn't profitable long run. Who's doubting? The people that aren't profitable. That's why, right? If you listen to people that aren't able to do anything, then how you gonna, right? Like, it's the same thing, right? Like if you're born as, I mean, like, what's the best example I can give you, right? Why is it that more poor people that are born poor stay poor, and then rich people keep on getting richer? Why is that? Is it because they have, you know how should I say, money in general in the beginning, and they're able to kind of afford more, like, lessons, as you can say? Or but in honestly, it's more like this, right? Like, poor people stay poor because they are taught a different way, right? Because if you're taught to just doubt everything, and you're taught to just kind of think of everything as, oh, this might not work, just because you tried it for like a week, 2 weeks, and guess what? It didn't work out. Dude, to be a millionaire, if you think it's going to take you, like a day or a week of learning, you're crazy, honestly. If anybody thinks that, you shouldn't even be here, because literally you're crazy, honestly. Not saying like you don't have the right to be here. I'm just saying in general, like, you shouldn't, because this is not what that's about. You're not going to be rich overnight in trading. Trading is a very serious thing, because the thing with trading is you can lose a lot of money. Yes, it takes a lot of time, a lot of practice, a lot of work in general to even kind of think about being a trader, right? Because uh, it's just, in general, if you really think about it, everything is kind of dependent on you. If you have a business, if you work for somebody, you have other people to depend on, right? Like, you have other situations where you can be like, yes, this didn't happen because of, this guy wasn't doing his work. Or, guess what? I wasn't able to make it to my job because, oh, my car, broke, or something like that. Like, if you make mistakes like that in trading, mistakes are more like, dude, I chased the stock, right, when I shouldn't have, and I lost 5 grand. You know what I mean? That's the type of the stuff that you're like kind of going up against. So yes, Frank the King, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Yes, that's really, I've heard so many good things about that book. It's one of those same situations, man. Right? Like, go ahead, man. Like, if everybody, right, like, in general, like, a lot of people want to be college students, right? Fine, no problem, no issue with that. You should always have a career, right? Because you want to have that plan of backup, or something that's has security, right? Because in trading, there's no security, right? Like, the issue is, if you want to be a lazy bum, being honest, right? Like, if you want to be a lazy bum and you don't want to put in the work, right, and you don't keep yourself, how should I say, if you're not able to push yourself to kind of watch thousands of charts, then you're not going to be profitable in the same amount of time that somebody that is putting in that work. So if you can't do that, and you have to pay $200,000 to go to a college, and in order for you to kind of be responsible enough to kind of go into college, then you might choose that route, right? But in trading, right, because you can literally get up and just open your computer and just spend money like it's nothing, is the big factor, right? And then the issue is people just kind of get up and think that they can be rich, just like that, right? Like, because they see somebody else doing it, but the issue is you don't see all of the stuff that they've been through, right? And if you think about it, man, if you can literally open up a brokerage account in the span of 5 minutes now, literally 5 minutes it takes you, and then it takes you another 10 minutes to literally put money in it. Like, not even joking. Like, next 10 minutes, I can create a new brokerage account with TD and put money in it and actually be able to trade in the span of next 10 to 20 minutes. Not even. Literally, that's how easy it is. And then also another thing is, right, is like having to have the access to that, right? Like, think about it. If you go into NFL and you go up against some of the best players ever, do you think like you're gonna do anything? Like, you can't do anything against like these 7 feet, 300 pound, all muscle, right, guys that have been literally doing this for the rest of their life, right? So, there's always that thing that you have to kind of put in that work, and you still have to kind of go after every day. But same thing, right? Like, if you go to college for 4 years and you literally spend 200K to make 60K a year, why can't you do trading on the side and spend, if you're spending 8 hours a day on college, why can't you spend an extra 2 hours, instead of watching TV, spend just those 2 hours on the day, right? So maybe, in the next 4 years, you won't be able to make, you know, 60K a year. Maybe you're able to only make like 30K a year. That's still 30K extra that you're getting, right? On top of your, whatever you'd be getting from college degree. And then, of course, the issue with trading is you can easily scale, right? No other job allows you to do, basically scale like this, honestly. Like, it depends on you, right? And everything else, right? You need opportunities. With trading, there's opportunities every day so that you can scale every day. Like, even real estate, you still have to find opportunities, and you have to find, good properties to invest in, where in trading, it's like you have opportunities every day. So the issue is scaling shouldn't be really too big of, you know, issue. So, technically you can, make a lot of money. So that's like my kind of thinking on the whole, people say this, people say that, man. People are going to keep talking, bro. People always talk, right? Ones that can't do it, talk. That's it. Simple. I don't tolerate that kind of mindset, honestly. Not even one bit. Like, honest opinion. Like, if you can't, just fucking don't try to get other people not to do it, right? Because it is what it is, right? The only reason I'm here was because somebody took time out of their day, or to actually add me into a Facebook group that my mentor ran, right? So he took the time enough to kind of take a 17, 18-year old, 19-year-old person, right, and add him into a Facebook group of stocks and kind of teach me a little bit about it. And then after that, a lot of that was my hard work too, but still, right, like, the only reason I'm making this money is because of that day. So if I say that, if I would have just listened to somebody who's saying, trading isn't sustainable in the next, long run, well, I would have just been that guy, right? I would have worked at, guess what, Best Buy for my life, right? Right? because I know a lot of people, I'm not even joking, that I went to school with are doing that because, you know, you can say maybe they didn't have the opportunities, maybe they didn't try, or maybe whatever, right? It's all their choices at the end of the day. Right? I know one thing, right? I had to fucking eat shit to fucking be here. Honestly, like not literally, just saying in general, right? Like it's a lot of fucking hard work that you had to put in, right? Having those days where you lose insane amount of money and you're fucking going crazy and this and that. But the issue is you can't feed it. That's it. You just gotta cut that off. So that's why discipline's a big thing. That's why I kind of don't stay in the chat room too long, guys. I know some of you guys probably don't like that, too much because a lot of these other chat rooms, they're literally up and running for 4 hours, till 4 p.m. But the main issue is that, if I don't do something, then why would I want to kind of fake it, right? I can fake it and be here in the chat room and, do all of that. But if it's not me, if I'm done trading by 11:30, why the hell would I kind of stay here, right? Honestly. So that's why you guys see me disappear after like 11:30 because that's just my routine, right? It's done now. Like that's just part of who I am. Right? Trading, everything trading based, I kind of get done.
Do you think you could share us what you're looking at on each of your 3 monitors on a day-to-day basis, like what you have laid out on
I can
TLS?
share everything with you guys, but like something it's like this, right? Like so literally all it is charts, right? I focus on 5 minute, as you guys know. This is one of the main things that you guys should focus on is just charts looking, right? Simple, uh, like having, couple of charts like this, right? Having 2 or 3 of these, simply just so you can look at, some of the main charts that you're looking at. Like, one would be the market. One would, be Tesla. Let's say if you trade Tesla every day, Zoom. The reason I'm so good at trading some of the, excuse me, stocks is I've shared my, like my yearly gains on some of these stocks, and it's like 90% of it was, Tesla, Zoom, and Roku now. Literally. Like it's insane. It's the only reason I'm so good at trading these stocks is simply because I watch these stocks every day. Right? Even if they don't have opportunity, I still watch them. Why? Well, because it gives you the feel of, right, like bad days too. So like when a stock is having a bad day, right, all it is trading. A lot of it is feel too, right? Like having the feel that, oh, okay, today might be the shitty day that, last time I didn't trade, right? So I should stay away from it today as well. Why do you look at more 5 minute than 1 minute? Simple reason, brother, is this, right? Like 1 minute is very crowded in the fact where, right, there's very much a lot of these algorithms that are running, which are kind of kind of doing these fake washes, fake rips, fake washes, fake rips, that some of these patterns one day make out, right? Like the big issue is there's pattern breaks that happen, which is fine, but it's just like the profit margin isn't there on them, right? Like the bigger time frame you look at, the bigger profit margin you're going to see. So the reason we trade the 5 minute is so that we can short the stock here and then maybe take profit at 476 rather than, kind of doing the 1 minute where you short it here and take like a 3 point move. And then you're going to have to trade like 10, like, like 3 times like that to make the 5 minute profit, right? And then also just in general, like just to show you guys an example, look how much cleaner the weekly charts look versus the daily charts look. So the bigger the time frame you move up to, the better the chances of you understanding the charts are. So but then of course the risk is there. On the weekly chart, you have to, right, wait for like a week, right, in order for the candle to finish kind of sculpting and finish you know uh, swing, kind of like finish creating itself. Where on the daily, sometimes you might find out about the bullish pattern a little bit earlier. So what I try to do is simply like this, right? Same situation on the swing trading and on simple day trading. How it goes is something like this, where if I'm looking at a 5 minute chart and I see some type of a pattern happening on the 1 minute, what happens is, right, let's say on the 5 minute, I will understand that this stock is going to be a short under 483, right? But on 1 minute, I am looking at, guess what? The 200 and the 50 EMA is here, right? So it's at $86, right? So on the 5 minute, the 200 and the 50 EMAs are at 484. On the 1 minute chart, they are at 485. So, what happens is this is how you want to use them, right? You want to look at the 1 minute and see, right, the small movements. First, you want to look at the trade on the 5 minute, right? What you want to understand is which way are you going to be trading? Are you going to be trading long or short? So if my initial mentality is shorting this stock, I will be shorting this under maybe the 50 and the 200, or just a rejection of this push, right? So simply this wick and a push, a failed breakout Friday, simple, just like everybody knows, right? Or something, anything like that. So this is where if I'm going to be shorting the stock, right? The second thing I want to look at is the 1 minute to see if the 1 minute gives me a little bit better of an opportunity. So if the 1 minute, shows me a little bit earlier, right, that, guess what? The stock is staying below 485, where it's the 200 and the 50 EMA on the 1 minute. I will take a short at, 485 rather than taking a short once I realize that, the 5 minute is rejecting here and then it forms a bear flag and then short it here. So it gives me a better entry in general. Having to short at the 483 and the 485 does make a big difference, even though it, first, you want to kind of just start trading the 5 minute, and then you want to kind of go into that little bit more of the advanced thing where, like let's say a pattern breaks on 1 minute, you understand that then, after that pattern break, the stock is going to run into the support or the resistance, or the next break is going to be on the 5 minute chart, right? So you want to play it like that. You kind of want to try to, understand that if this pattern breaks on 1 minute, it's going to lead right into this 5 minute pattern break, which is going to end up, kind of having the stock stay below the 200 and the 50 EMA, which means then, then it's going to be even a better short. So, instead of shorting here, you can short up here by kind of looking at the 1 minute a little bit earlier. So I mean, but generally 5 minute has better moves. 5 minute has better everything, honestly. Like I would say, better trends, better breaks, and less of what do we call traps. Can you tell him story biggest loss? Yeah, bro. One of my biggest loss was simply because I kept adding. That's it, man. It was Roku. That's like just one of them. Like I don't know which one was my biggest one. I think it was like 70K, but it's just I got caught in it and I just kept feeding it, right? And this was before making like 70K a day, just make only like maybe 10, 20K a day, and took a 70 some K loss. So not bad. It's like it is what it is. Right. But right now, like I feel like I've kind of controlled that discipline in the fact where I kind of, all it is sculpting, right? Like just chipping away at it slowly. Some of the bad things that you do, just kind of slowly chipping away at it, and while also learning, right? So learning from your mistakes and also chipping away the bad mistakes slowly at a time, and moving forward. Time frame do you recommend? Swing trading, and that's the same way I trade the swing, right? Like I focus more on weekly charts for swing, and then I also look at the daily chart to see if I see a pattern break that happens on the daily, which is going to lead into the break of the weekly, which is going to then technically mean bigger profits, because weekly charts mean better charts in general, and then better breaks and better profits. So caller put brother Raghu, bro, it's literally, if it was simple as that, right? Like telling you right now, like, bro, I look at this magical line on a stock. If it goes above it or goes below it, it's going to be shorter or long. No, it's not like that. It's more like you have to watch these patterns over time, right? So like studying, right? One way is some of my people that learn from me, literally ask them, what do I tell them? Going on demand, look at some of the patterns with the strategies that I give you on Thinkorswim, right? If I give you a strategy on Thinkorswim, right? Something like this, and you're able to go back and see these patterns, right, for the past year, right? And you're able to understand that, if this pattern forms, stock usually breaks up, right? If the stock does this and it forms this pattern, it's going to do this, right? If you're able to do that, then you already kind of know which way the stock will move, right? And then, of course, there are some days where you're not sure about. And those days, what you do is you play with support and resistance lines. Simple, right? The only reason I pick Zoom and stuff like that is simply because they're literally more volume stocks. Because look at, something like Zoom, and then look at something like, no, I mean, these were a little bit more liquid out of, this week. But what are some of the less liquid stocks, guys? Just to show an example, right? Shop is pretty unliquid too sometimes. Yeah, look, very unliquid. Sometimes you can't really tell what Shop wants to do. So, instead of trading Shop, in pre-market, it's better to look at like Apple and have a little bit more liquid of a pattern formed so that you can take a trade, right? So stuff like that. Of course, I draw support and resistance, but I do it on the daily. So what I do is, to look at the past, right? We got a fib here, which is doing it for us, but this is how I would draw them, right? Like if we're above this resistance, technically our next resistance is literally right here on 117.34, and then of course after that break we got a room all the way up toward the 17.64, and then of course after that we got this one, and then we have highs here. So that's how you want to draw them. You want to go back. That's a big reason I use the daily for, is to kind of just have those. The reason is everybody understands that I hate drawing lines anymore, because at the end of the day, usually when I look at a stock, I usually look at the stock and I'm like, okay, if this stock is, holds about 117, literally my target will be 118. And I usually keep that in my head. Honestly, it really doesn't really, like, I don't forget it. Like, I'm not somebody that just kind of like looks at that and then I'm like, yeah, if, BA stays above 115, it has room up to 118. But, right? But, let's say if I open the chart up at 9:30, will I forget it? Probably not. I'll probably always remember it. So if I'm long 115, my target would be 118, right? Stuff like that. Any goals for next week, bro? No, I mean, the thing with trading is, right, if you set goals, what's going to happen is your only goal should be is following certain rules, right? Big thing is in trading is discipline, right? So what you want to do is you want to write some rules down, and that's what your goal should be every day, right? Like having that discipline in the fact where you have that rule set up and you're like, shit, if I trade more than 3 times, right, I'm going to do 50, 60, or 100 push-ups, right? And then actually do it. And then the second thing is next time, right, your goal should be to not even do those 100 push-ups. So your goals always should be improving your, discipline, honestly. Because if you know discipline in trading, I believe it literally is half the work is kind of done. Because psychology and discipline are very similar things, and they go head to head, and they're literally 80% of trading, in my opinion. And then, of course, you want to know and understand charts also, which is going to give you that little extra push. And each of the lines, this is Ella, this is just a Fibonacci. This we have in our chat room. Look, it's gone. So if you want, can you can just download that from the I believe it's in the announcement section. You can add that to your Thinkorswim. It's just a Fibonacci, right? All it is just looking at the past history for the past 3 days and forming some lines that are, where did I post it? Here you go, FibScript right here. So you want to click on that and download, basically copy this, right? And paste it, simple, right? Into here, create, right? So you want to do that. Oh, which EMA? This is the fifth. This is the 200 EMA, the purple one, and this is the 50 EMA. And I don't have the VWAP here up, but I would usually have the VWAP as well. But VWAP, it's just Only reason the wee reps there is so everybody, I can see what other people are looking at, honestly. The other lines were just, the fib. Key levels. Oh, of course, man. Sean, yeah. You have to look at, some of those levels simply because, they're going to tell you where the support is and the resistance is, right? Because that's where the profit taking comes in, right? That's where the Fibonacci comes in. Fibonacci usually helps big time with profit taking. So if you're not able to take profit properly, then it kind of sucks, right? Because you can take that's the same thing, right? Going back to it, trading isn't just one thing at all, right? Like you just don't only have to work on entries, you don't only have to work on exits, you don't only have to work on psychology, you don't only have to work on discipline. You have to work on all of these things together, and you have to work on every single one of them if you want to be profitable. So it's not easy, it's not something that's easy. It's just like anything, right? Like if you start walking a mile a day, I'll bet you 5 years later that mile is gonna seem like it's nothing. You know what I mean? Makes sense? Like, does that make sense, guys? Everything becomes easier over time, right? It's just like as a beginner, you know. Frank, I used to trade overnight. I used to trade futures at night sometimes when I used to get bored. But then I realized what happened was, right. And when I used to trade futures, right. This is back like 2-3 years ago. Uh, what would happen is I would make money, and then I would make some of those dumb mistakes because I would let my psychology kick in, right? Like I would start trading at like 7, right, p.m. and then Eastern time, and then trade for like 2 hours, make money, and then I would keep on trading, try to make more money and give everything back, and then try to make that back, and then give all my profits from the morning away, which kind of led into me kind of deciding to never touch the fucking charts again after. I mean, charts you can touch. I mean, trading, trade station, like, so you don't want to trade after, it's always good to review charts, as much time you can do. Right. And the reason we say, right, review charts on demand, some people might say, yeah, well, you don't get the same experience. You don't get the same feeling. Fine, no problem. But the issue is you're literally asking to pay tuition right now. Like if you want to go practice in real time, one thing is you can practice charts in real time. One thing is it's going to take you like 2 years in order for you to actually get enough chart knowledge to actually know what's going on, right? Unless you want to just go on demand and review like 5,000 charts, right? 2 years or 3 years worth of charts in the span of the next couple of months. You can do that, right? You can do it that way, or you can just wait 2 years and go through it. Up to you. Which way do you want to go? Like, it's up to you, honestly. And then people say, oh, yeah, okay, it doesn't have the feel. Well, right? Like, I will promise you, right? Like, you can ask any profitable trader out there. If they tell you that you should be practicing with real money, they're literally bumped. Like, oh my, like, I don't want to, like, it actually annoys me because people actually recommend people going in with real money, which is so stupid. Like, honestly, it's so dumb. I promise you, anybody that's profitable and as a person that has, best, that wants best for you at heart will tell you, dude, stop it right now and just paper trade for the next 6 months. Because what's going to happen is you're really going to be focusing on the strategy. That's it. You're not going to focus on the emotional factor, which is going to come after, right? You're going to have to fight those emotional factors, and you're going to have to fight those discipline, right, issues that you're going to have. But the main issue is that, what's going to build the, how should I say, um, what's going to build your base is going to be simply, very strong base is going to be that you understand charts and your strategy works because you practiced it on paper trading and you're profitable 14 or 16 out of 20 days, and you've done it so many times with fake money. Why can't you do it with real money? Well, yesterday I messed up because I didn't have the discipline of stop trading. Check. Tomorrow, I'm going to try to improve that. Tomorrow, right? Like let's say the next day I messed up because, I chased the stock. Boom, check. Next day, I'm going to try to improve on that. The next day, I messed up on, well, it was just, psychology issue, or, something, happened yesterday that, didn't, so my mind wasn't in the right place, right? I was thinking about somebody or something, or, whatever, right? So stuff like that. It's, you got to start, one step at a time, right? Can't try to go at everything at once and try to tackle everything. Uh, so it's stuff like that, right? Like, all it is it's very simple if you really put it out in the, proper. How long should you practice for proper confidence? And it's individual, but it is, it really is individual. But honestly, it really honestly depends on, right, like how good. Because I promise you, right, like I'm like the worst person at discipline. I mean, like, dude, like I had zero discipline. Like like there's some people that, from very young age are very disciplined, and they have a very high, I think, big advantage of fighting those emotions sometimes, right? Which I didn't have, so it took me like 2 years. Some people, it might even take 6 months. I've seen people that have literally are profitable in 2 months, which is insane to me. Yeah. Who else got a question? Bro, you can watch one of those two things, right? ES or SPY, doesn't matter. Same thing, same chart. Literally, you can. It's literally like 100x. That's it. Honest opinion. Like, if you really look at it, right? SPY, right? Look where the price is. Well, because it's this. I mean, look where the closing price for SPY was, right? 346. The reason I said this was because SPY is 24 hours, where ES isn't 24 hours, in the fact where ES is only like 23 or 22 and 3/4, right? Because there's a 15-minute break at 4:15, and then it also has a 5 to 6 p.m. break. So it's 22 and 3/4 /5. So it's not 7 times a day, but all it is look, it closed at where? What price? 346.85. My God, dude, I'm not in there today. I'm not fully here. Right. Look. So it's like same type of, right, like same chart, same everything. Everything is gonna look identical on it, honestly. Yeah. My wins to loss ratio is pretty good. I make mistakes. I bet you, man. I bet you, what you're struggling with right now is just discipline, honestly. If your win ratio to your losses, being larger than my wins, what I want to work on, any device on that. The mistake I make is my losses end up being larger than my. Oh, you mean your win to loss ratio is good, but you're taking too big of a losses? Well, that basically means two things. You're trading on a smaller time frame, which, then also, and then the other thing is, how much are you trading? Like, let me know, like, how much do you trade? Honest answer too, like nothing, like don't try to lie. You trade every day, okay, but how much? What's your time frame of trading, and how many trades do you usually take on the day? 10 to 25 trades, right? Which is insane. Dude, I take like 3 trades a day. Not saying, you should follow the way I am, but it's just your strategy is because you take so many trades, right? Uh, you have more chances of your psychology being drained out over the time of you taking those 10 to 25 trades, right? While, right, somebody like, that's going to actually make money, right? Like your first couple of trades might be really nice, and it's just over time sometimes your psychology just drains out slowly. So in order for you to perfect that, it's going to just take time. If you really want to just continue doing what you're doing, you're going to get better at it over time. But if you want to, change it right now, I would say maybe try to lower your trades and try to take, 3, 4 trades in a day. That's it, max, right? And then do this and then scale those trades rather than taking 25 trades. Just make the money that you want to make in the first 3, 4 trades and don't even look back. Amazon call, bought it for 650, sold at 950. Those calls ran up to 30. No problem, bro. That happens every day, man. I promise you. There's days where I bought calls for like $2, sold them for like $6, and they ran up to $50. It's all good, right? It happens every day. I promise. Nothing to stress about that. But just know that, right? Being able to go back and review that and being able to understand why it did that, right? Did it have resistance in the past? Did it have support in the past, which made it kind of move up? Is what's gonna make your next trade on Amazon, because you're gonna be in that same situation. I promise. In the next 6 months from now, promise you, at least, right? So maybe in the next 1 to 6 months, you're gonna have the same type of situation where you're gonna be in a trade where you're gonna be in at $2 and they're gonna run up to 30, right? Uh, let's say like you said, you went from $6 to 950. All you have to do is just try to improve that 950 to maybe 1250, right? And then slowly, the next time you take the trade, now you try to close it at $15 because you understood the pattern. You understood what's going on. What does discipline mean to me? That's so funny, right? Literally the funniest situation. That's so funny because I just saw something that's very, very amazing. Like, this was probably the best way of describing discipline, right, that I've seen in the past ever, right? Like in my whole life, right? I feel like discipline, right? They said, this is not from me. This is, I saw it on, I'm not even gonna lie, on social media, but it was just perfect, right? Somebody said that discipline is that little voice. So like, let's say you're trying to wake up early every day, right? And you know, guess what? You're tired and you don't want to get up. They said discipline is that little voice in the back of your head that tells you that you should get up and grind. That's discipline, right? So that's one of those things, right? Like, now transferring into trading, that doesn't mean that you should be stopped. You should be, you shouldn't be trading anymore, right? Like in trading, it's not like like the voice in the back of your head is telling you to trade, telling you to trade, telling you to trade. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about discipline in general of being able to be consistently get up every day, right, and follow a certain rules, right? Follow a certain line, right, that you're going to follow every day, right? Because a lot of people can do discipline for 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, but then the 5th day they go back, right? They're like, oh, okay, it's just 1 day, right? I'm not going to wake up today at 7. I'm going to wake up at 10, right? Or 15 minutes extra, 10 minutes extra. No, no, no. Discipline means that you're there every day and you have that little voice in the head that's kind of guiding you and telling you that you should stay on this exact path, right? Do not go to the left, do not go to the right, just stay on this one path that that you're trying to follow. Simple. That's what I would say discipline is. I wouldn't say discipline is anything more than that. No, no, man, I don't care about unusual activity and options, honestly. Yeah, well, of course, man, it happens all the time. Bro, OSTK, dude. Literally, I was in that stock from sub fives and literally went up to $20. I got out and literally the stock went up over $100. So, sucks. What are you gonna do? Tell you thousands of these stories, but it's all good. It's, should have, could have, would have. It's just next time we're gonna improve, right? That's it. we're doing trading. What is the difference between what we do every day versus trading, swing trading? Swing trading is something that it's basically what we're doing on a bigger time frame. That's it, right? With swing trading, it sucks because a lot of beginners, you might not be able to sleep properly. Right? Daily trading and swing trading and buying contract for 2 months. Ella, all it is simply right. Like if we're looking at support and resistance on the daily, on the 1 minute, right, or the 5 minute. Let's say we're just looking at on the daily, and that's just swing trading is anything that you hold over 24 hour. That's it. Swing trading can be 1 day, 1.5 day. Swing trading can be a week. Swing trading can be a month. Long-term trading is anything over a year. So anything under that, I would consider swing trading, honestly. Right? Let's say if you get into a stock today and you get out 9 months from now, it's still swing trading. Well, be a charge. See what you have to say. Guys, we're probably going to end this here very, very soon. Today was going to be a long webinar, but if you guys have questions, just put it on there. Yeah, with BA, we were just looking at it, right? Like BA needs that momentum move. Probably, some type of stimulus might do it where BA runs up to 203 here, because that's what's going to save BA, unless it's just a bear trend right now, man. Look, it's just coming down. Trapped some people here. Now it's trying to stay above the 50 EMA. If it's not able to hold above the 50 EMA, it's going to go back down to the 150, and then of course 150 breaks, it's got down to $100 mark. And then of course if the 100 breaks, we got 50s. But if stimulus news comes out, we got 203 breaks, we got 240s, and then of course we got higher toward the 400s. Because BA, big company, right? Military products and a lot of that other stuff too, which is gonna help it stay up when like something that's not gonna go bankrupt. So you shouldn't be really worried too much about it if you're in long term on BA. But thank you. Okay, gotcha. Anything else? Yeah, short webinar. Everyone, like, you know what I mean. It's nothing. I was just thinking of a topic to be, teach trading futures. Well, futures is simply just it's like literally almost same as equity. All it is just your contracts will get rolled over after 3 months, because every quarter new contracts come in, and usually what happens is TOS does it on their own and they do it for you. And the good thing about futures is that you can put in $500 and have no PDT. Honestly, you can take a $500 account to $10,000, but the same issue is, right, because you're not gonna have that discipline, right, of kind of only trading 3 times a week. You're probably gonna make some bad decision of just keep on trading, because trading is fun, right? We all agree on that. We all agree pushing buttons and making that money and having that adrenaline rush, right, like coming into your head and wanting you to make more money, and just by sitting at your computer is good, right? So but the issue is just discipline, right? That $500 probably going to be gone. That's why I don't focus too much on futures, but I trade futures on my swing trading account. Can you pick a zoom, explain what you need, and then you look for it to go long or short as too many times, but repeating helps. About what, bro? Trader, my guy, what? Do you want to go over Zoom again? Damn, bro. You're gonna make me go over Zoom again? God damn it. No, I'm joking. I'm joking, you good, bro. But simple, right? Yesterday or Friday, for instance, sorry about that. Friday, we were looking at Zoom, simply in a nice uptrend, right? All it was simply this, right? We were looking at Zoom. For everybody that's in pre-market, they knew that there was a line here that we were looking at. Basically, when the stock broke below this line, 487s, right, it was coming down. Look, it went and touched it, here one day, came back down, tried to run up to it next time, wasn't able to run up to it, sold back down, right? So now it was trading in this channel, right? For instance, right? But look, it rejected it again. And this is the other day, right? This is Thursday. The Thursday short on Zoom was because of the same exact reason. It literally wasn't able to get above this line. So once it got up above it, right? Look for the same type of move of here, right? Pop too short. That's why we shorted Zoom on Thursday. But something different happened Friday. What was that? Well, simply look, Zoom sported the 200 and the 50, ripped up, held above that level, right? Now it's doing the same thing as you can see, which it did here, right? Basically trap people above or below the pattern, right? And look, it did the same exact thing, comes down, traps people, sports the 50, sports the 200, and literally rips up. Nothing, crazy. Honestly, all it was the main entry point for Zoom was that it literally ran up to the line, right? Look, it rejected here and then it bounced and it actually sported that line that we drew from pre-market. Simple, right? And it did it in pre-market. So technically, they didn't even need the full momentum of the stock opening. So technically, that's why when the stock ripped, we took profit toward the $500 mark. Right, 493 or 494 was our target on it. So, easy little trades on that. Yeah, it's like just watching some of these things, right? Like understanding the sport and resistance and, understanding that it's just repetitive stuff, same things, right? And that's why it helps a very big time kind of going back on demand and practicing the first 30 minutes again and again and again and again and again and again, right? Like, it's like the more I say, it's less. Like, honestly, if one of you guys honestly want to show me proof that you went and, practice on demand for, the past year, 365 days, and it didn't help you, please show me proof and I'll stop even I won't even literally, like, I won't even talk about trading anymore, honestly, because there's no way that, unless you just don't pay attention, like if you really wanted to learn and you actually go over like, 255 days worth of charts, right? In the first 30 minutes, it's going to take you like a month and a half. But I promise you, literally, you'll be probably, 500x better trader than what you are right now. Level two, yeah, bro. Level two is very easy. It's all it is. It's just buyers and sellers, right? So how level two works is these are the buyers, right, that are lined up, meaning that it's just a market, right? It's better explained if I show you guys this on the active trader. As you can see, right? So the stock price, the median price right now is 492.41, which would be 492. 492.41, which is, for some reason, it's because it's after hours, it's kind of messed up. But right, let's say the market price, because it's between the 493 and 492.76, let's say its average market price will be 492.90, right? So let's say this is the average price. So these are the buyers that are lined up at 492, right? These are the supplies, right? As you can see right here, right? The 2,900, right? 2,900. And then of course the next buyer, would be at 492.70, as you can see right there. The next buyer would be at 492.45, right? And the same way of the sellers, right? So the sellers are lined up just like that, right? As you can see on the level two. But now, let's say if we want to move this stock up, right? So, right, technically, we would only need 100 shares, or actually maybe even 200, right, to take off these sellers, right? So basically, we would need to, somebody like me or somebody would have to come in and jump the, ask and literally buy these 100 shares that somebody is selling at 493 in order for the stock to move, the bid to move from 492.76 to 493. So, right, like, and then if we want to move the stock even more higher, then of course we're going to take out the next seller, which is at here, right? And this is all this is all hypothetical. You know why? Because there are a lot of hidden sellers, right? There are a lot of sellers that jump in, right, when the stock price is, when the price does get near here, right? Like there's a lot of hidden sellers out there, which make it really difficult. It's not just as easy as, just buying 200 shares and having the stock move in your direction like 2 points, right? No, no, no. It's a lot of hidden, but this is, level two just shows you the market, right? Like where the supply is, where the demand is, right? And that's it, right? So these are all the sellers, right? This is where this person wants to get out. They have their limit out at here, and this is what somebody is willing to pay, right? And this is what somebody is willing to sell at. So now if the stock wants to move higher, then more demand, right, would have to go in, more buyers would have to come in than the sellers at this price, which is 100. So technically we would need 200 buyers, right? So 200 shares would have to come in here, then the stock price would move up $1. And the only reason the spread is so big, it's because it's after hours. So usually the spread would be like 5 cents, 10 cents on some of these stocks, 15 cents. And Zoom, sometimes actually it's even worse than this. Honestly, it's only 25. It's not bad at all. Sometimes it's like 50 cents I've seen in the past. Level 2 on options, bro, it's same thing, same exact thing. Literally done it many times. If you guys want to go look at that, I would say go back and watch some of the webinars, because we've gone over that so many times, how to use options just like the way you would use stocks, honestly. Right? Very easy. It really is, honestly. Neo? Oh, why did Neo do this? Well, let's look back at it, right? Because we're not going to be able to tell why it didn't, what it did, unless we actually go look back at the chart. It basically did that because guess what? The first time they ran up the stock, look how many sellers came through and sold the stock all the way back down. So technically the stock opened here, right, on this day, on 9:30, right, moved down, or actually moved up first, right, all the way up to $22.59, and then sold back down. So wait, actually, wait, I'm sorry, I'm doing this wrong. So the stock opened up at 21.72, moved all the way up to 22.59, and then guess what? Bunch of sellers just came in and dumped the stock, and then the stock sold all the way back down to 20.75 to fill this gap, right? So they filled the gap, and then it bounced a little bit and closed right here. So now, if they're able to do that one time, why wouldn't you think they would be able to do it again? So that's why they did it on, the prior day, right there, right? But you're talking about why it sold here, right? Simply because look how big the sell wave is. Now, right after they closed the gap, right? Look, the stock stayed below it, but then they started sporting it. But look what it's doing right here, right? It's testing the gap again and again and again. And look, this is not a bullish pattern at all. All it is just showing you that, guess what? It's not able to break through it one time, two time, three time. Now it's trying to break to the downside. So look, one time, two time, and the third time it actually broke and actually sold back off, right? So here, look, one time it tried to break up, it wasn't able to do it. Second time it tried to break up, it wasn't able to do it. The third time it tried to break up, it wasn't able to do it. So they switched, right? Then they try to break it to the downside. So first time, second time, third time they did it at the open, more volume, more momentum, and boom. And if you were talking about Thursday, I just explained to you why it moved on Thursday. Because there's a lot of sellers sitting there, buddy. Right here, bro. If you look at it, right? So all of these sellers, right? So more people got confident once the stock ran up toward the 22.59. If it got sold into one time, why wouldn't it get sold into again, right? That's it. Simple. That's how trading works. Psychology. All right. Understanding if there's sellers, up here, then why wouldn't there be more sellers waiting to short this stock there? So So once more and more people kind of got scared out of their lungs, more people started piling back in and sold back down. You can't find the market trend, bro. It's just over time you're gonna get that, man. Honestly, it took me 2 years to understand that too, but you'll learn it. I promise. Like I said, if you want to do it faster, on demand, man. I wish I would have done that because I would have been way better. I would have done it way faster. I used to go back and look at the 5 minute chart for 180 days, but I never kind of went on demand and watched the first 30 minute again and again and again every time I was free. So that's one of those things I think I should have improved on in my trading journey. Yeah. But anything else, guys? We're gonna end it right here. Simply, hopefully, this was pretty good webinar. I mean, uh, you know, uh, I wouldn't say it was one of the best ones, but in general, right? Like a lot of questions answered, a lot of psychology stuff answered. So hopefully, you guys got something out of it, right? Of course, you guys have an amazing weekend, right? Enjoy your time, guys. Of course, bro. Zane's in the house, my race, Ella, Trader, everybody. Ali, there you go, man. You guys have a good day, man. Wasn't able to do it yesterday. Had some, he said go Hogs. Yeah, bro. All right, all right. But wasn't able to do it yesterday, so we were able to move it. So all good. Have a nice weekend, guys.